tell yourself that it is happening for you, that you are being shaped and molded. You are developing every trait you need to win at the level that you say you want to win. And I'm not really sure how you win and are courageous enough to win without some type of fear entering your life so that you can develop courage. I'm not sure how you can discipline yourself and become resilient without anything to bounce back from. Otherwise, how do you know you're becoming resilient? If there was nothing, no resistance, no pullback, there were no opportunities for you to fall to see if you would get back up. That's resilient. So if you've never fallen down, how do you even know you're resilient? So all these things you're going to need. If that's what you want, if you're like, I want to succeed at the highest level, well, you're going to fall down. And if you've never given yourself an opportunity to understand, man, I just get back up, then perhaps when you fall down, you don't get back up. And then you just quit everything we do because you never learn how to just get back up and keep going and get back up and keep going. And you're like, how many times? As many times as it takes.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven, and family-focused, and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Hey, what's up, Self-Talk Experience family? Darnell Self here. And of course, T-Self is traveling. But guess what? I wanted to share with you all something today that really impacted our lives. And at that time was impacting our future. And I did not know it. I thought, man, this is perfect for a Self-Talk Experience episode. And for those who are new to watching the Self-Talk Experience or listening to the Self-Talk Experience, welcome. We appreciate you guys. My name is Darnell Self, one of the hosts here for the Self-Talk Experience, and T-Self, Tracy Self, is also a co-host. And the reason why we decided to put the Self-Talk Experience podcast together and launch it was because we thought to ourselves, man, if we were 15 years younger, 15 to 20 years younger, what would we want someone to tell us about shifting our self-talk that would have helped us to cut our earning and our learning curve? In other words, it would have helped us to get to our goals shorter and would have made more in that time frame. And that's why we put this together, because we realized, man, there's probably a lot of folks who are budding entrepreneurs who want to do something on their own, and they don't not really sure how to make that transition, especially if their circumstances are saying, why are you even thinking about that? Like, look at where you are and look at where you've been. And why would you think that you could succeed at such a high level? And I've had those thoughts. I've had that self-talk before. And I'm so thankful and grateful that I was able to adjust that self-talk and attract a new life, attract different circumstances. And so today I want to talk about that. Because in the season where I started to realize that, man, the story I'm telling myself about myself is actually not healthy, I was in a place where I felt negative. I felt like I was deflated and discouraged. And then I realized, as I started to improve my self-talk, that it was literally a season of resilience, a season I call my slingshot season, a season where I felt like things that were happening would get better, but they didn't. I don't know if you've ever been in a place, right, where you think, all right, this is actually probably the worst it can be, so it can't go anywhere but up. And then it actually goes to a deeper, darker place. You're like, I didn't even know that place existed. And you thought next month would be better. And it wasn't. And next month for sure it's going to be better because I can't go any further backwards. And something else happened. You're like, really? And so I call it my slingshot season because little did I realize that I was being pulled back to be propelled further and at a faster pace. And that, my friends, created a testimony that allowed us to also bless a lot of other people. And so for those who are watching and listening today, if one, you feel like, man, my circumstances are not what I thought they would be at this stage in my life, at this age in my life, after accomplishing so much. Like, oh man, I have a degree. Why am I here? Man, I'm older and wiser. Why am I here? Man, I've been a homeowner. So why is this happening to me now? Why am I losing the home? Man, I've made good decisions. I've been a good person. Why is that happening to me? And I would ask that you shift that and say, why is it happening for me? Why is it happening for me? And I would switch, instead of saying, I can't believe, saying, I can't wait. I'm so thankful that I'm being built up, that I am being shaped and molded to become. So the slingshot, I thought, was pulling me back for the sake of me falling back, but it was actually pulling me back so that all the lessons I learned, I was able to propel myself based on the things I knew I didn't want, because sometimes it's hard to figure out what you want because what you don't want is not clear. And it's hard to figure out what you don't want because what you want isn't clear. So you've got to be really clear on what you want and really clear on what you don't want, so that when what you don't want shows up, you're like, I know that's not it because I'm really clear on what I don't want. And when what you want shows up, you know exactly what it is because you're really clear on what you want. So those things should be clear. And sometimes when you're at least clear on one, you can pretty much say, okay, well, this doesn't look like what I said I wanted, so this can't be it. And when you're really clear on what you don't want, then when what you want shows up, you can like, well, this is different than what I said I didn't want. So at least have one and then start working on having both. Be really clear. So what I'm saying is, in the slingshot season, I realized what I didn't want. What I didn't want was have to worry about money. What I didn't want was have to wait till my check came in to decide what bills I could pay. What I didn't want, right? So all these things happened for me so that I could put myself in a place where I realized, like, this is not what I want. And this is not how I want to live, right? I want abundance and I want unlimited. I don't want to live, right? I want autonomy. I want to be able to choose what I want to do when I want to do it. And all I'm saying, guys, if let's say you're working a job right now, but you want to be an entrepreneur and your desire is to have the flexibility of an entrepreneur, then don't complain about feeling captive, feeling caged, feeling like, man, somebody's got a thumb on me, because that could make you feel negative. What I'm saying is, get excited about what the future looks like. You see, it's easy to complain about what you have, but it takes discipline to get excited about what you don't have, but you know what's coming. Like, I can't wait. Like, I can't believe I still can't take the trip. I can't wait to be able to take the trip. I don't know why I said like this one. I just feel like your shoulders sink in, right? So all I'm saying is, this season of resilience sometimes looks like it's punishment. Sometimes it looks like it's a negative thing. I'm going to ask that you think about it differently and look at it as an opportunity for you to share a story that you wouldn't have been able to share with any level of authenticity if you hadn't gone through it. And my friends, what that will do for you and for so many other people, it will separate you, because folks can say, I heard, my friend told me, I know about somebody who's dealt with it, but they can't say, no, I know. No, I know exactly what that feels like. And let me share with you how I made it out. And let me share with you how I was able to shift the things I said to myself about myself. And let me share with you how I continue to move forward, even though everything in me said give up, even though everybody around me were trying to hold me back. But I made a decision that for me and my household, we're only moving forward. We're not going back, even though it felt like I was moving back. It took faith. I'm not sure if I would have made it without the faith. It took visualization. I had to see myself as farther along than where I was. Thank God for people around me who allowed me to cast a vision and also cast a vision for me. They kept saying things like, man, I can see big things happening for you in the future, man. Here's what I see for you in the future. And they spoke my future to me. And not only that, they allowed me to talk about what I wanted my future to look like without making me feel crazy for looking at something that seemed to be so bright while I was in a place that was so dark. And then thirdly, I put myself in a place where I worked on me and I scheduled that time to work on me. And I would ask that you schedule that time. Don't say, I just don't have time to, I don't even schedule it. It's just that important. And scheduling could be scheduling therapy. It could be scheduling reading. It could be scheduling a group that you go to, some type of session, some type of environment where there's a mastermind and you're around like-minded individuals who are all sharing how they're overcoming something similar. So you realize it's not just you by yourself. So my friends, now is the time in your slingshot season to really feel like, to really understand the value in being pulled back is really a setup. It's a setup. It's an opportunity for you to be stronger. So when you're running the race, you have stamina. When you're running the race, you have strength. When you're running the race, you've already learned how to put on blinders. You already learned how to put on earplugs so that what others are saying aren't impacting you. And without that season, with the bill collectors calling, and I don't wish that upon anyone. I'm just saying that perhaps if I didn't have that season, I'd have been afraid of talking to certain people. But man, when you've lived through certain things, you're like, look, this is nothing compared to what I've been through. Like that, this here, someone saying no to me after having bill collectors threaten me, this is nothing. So I'm just saying, it may not show up right now. You may not be able to appreciate and wrap your mind around why it's happening right now. I just ask that you shift your self-talk and tell yourself that it is happening for you, that you are being shaped and molded. You are developing every trait you need to win at the level that you say you want to win. And I'm not really sure how you win and are courageous enough to win without some type of fear entering your life so that you can develop courage. I'm not sure how you can discipline yourself and become resilient without anything to bounce back from. Otherwise, how do you know you're becoming resilient? If there was nothing, no resistance, no pullback, there were no opportunities for you to fall to see if you would get back up. That's resilient. So if you've never fallen down, how do you even know you're resilient? So all these things you're going to need if that's what you want. If you're like, I want to succeed at the highest level, well, you're going to fall down. And if you've never given yourself an opportunity to understand, man, I just get back up, then perhaps when you fall down, you don't get back up. And then you just quit everything we do because you never learn how to just get back up and keep going and get back up and keep going. And you're like, how many times? As many times as it takes. Just say, I will until. Like, I don't know how many times, but whatever it takes. It took me, because back then I was keeping a journal of this because I was taught to keep a journal. It took me 1,100 no's to get to a place where finances were no longer an issue, where bills were no longer an issue, where there was a surplus in my account, like big surplus. And I often ask people, it's different in every business and it's different in everybody's experience. That's why it's called the self-talk experience, because it's the experience of myself, my wife, different guests that come on. But I ask folks often, hey, listen, if it took you 1,100 people to reject you to get to a place where you could reach all your goals, would you go through 1,100 no's? And folks are like, yes. But after 5 no's, they start to second guess themselves. 5. I'm asking that you appreciate and respect what it really takes for you to win at the level that you say you want to win, and understand that everything that's happening is happening for you. And if you really want what you say you want, it may take, like for me, 1,100 no's for me to shape and become the person who no's don't even bother me anymore. But for my next level, I'm sure it'll take way more than 1,100 for me to hit that level. But I've been prepared, and so have you. Hey guys, just remember, what you think is a circumstance that has pulled you back has actually been a setup to propel you forward. I called it my slingshot season. You may be in that too. Continue to watch the things you say to yourself about yourself, because remember, they will eventually determine what you attract for yourself. It's been another episode of the Self-Talk Experience, and I can't wait to hear your testimony about your slingshot season. Take care, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.